Hello again. This is my umpteenth attempt to do this video, which keeps screwing up and has actually gone offline. So I'm going to try it again. It's about the lumpen proletariat. And the lumpen proletariat consists of about 10% of the population here in the UK. By their very description, proletariat, they are part of the working class. But the lumpen are beyond the restraints of work and the work ethic as we understand it. They choose by a combination of guile, free will, and other circumstances to avoid the enslaving, stultifying, mind-numbing existence of 8 till 5. Lumpens include casual labourers, petty criminals, beggars, travellers, illegal workers, prostitutes, fly-blow street trade, market traders, homely street people, and so forth. The prisons are mostly built to warehouse them. They are the undeserving poor, the marginalised, the so-called underclass, the benefit street scroungers. By now I think you know what the lumpen proletariat is. Some aspects of life in the lumpen can be brutal, demoralising and exploitative. But there is also a tremendous amount of solidarity that is sadly lacking elsewhere. Also, a lumpen existence can be exhilarating and liberating in a variety of ways. There is more scope for non-conformity and individual autonomy. There is ferment and struggle in the bottom 10 or 20% of the population than elsewhere, by far. Not only is a lumpen more multi-ethnic, but it is the area where many minorities have found space. Immigrants, gay and trans people, for example. It obviously ain't a bed of roses, though, for sure. But when is it ever, and where? As reflects capitalist society and the world in general, the lumpen are divided. The EDL lumpen types, for example, may attempt to march on the streets, but they will be rigorously opposed by other marginalised lumpen with direct physical confrontation going far beyond the limits of lawful and peaceful protest. After all, it's the lumpen on an almost daily basis who come into direct confrontation with the law, its middle-class enforcers, the police, and the mechanisms of state repression. As a result, the lumpen represent the core of those insurgents without manifestos who have taken to the streets of Britain since the 1980s, from Brixton and Toxteth to the uprisings of 2011, 4 years ago now. They are the section of the working class that the ruling class fear the most. The lumpen are dynamic, creating many subcultures in arts like music, forms of outlaw expression, and constantly reshaping the language. They tend to do it rather than just theorize about it. Many anarchists, by choice or necessity, tend to exist between the lumpen and what is sometimes described as bohemianism, which is the small middle-class lumpen, if you like. It's certain that all of us have the same general attitudes when it comes to authority, work, the police, sexual expression, and various lifestyles that we pursue. But again, it's a lumpen that's way ahead of anything that the bohemian subculture can offer. As always, it will be the submerged fifth who will take to the streets first and push things far beyond acceptable boundaries. Many uprisings are dismissed as riots. But uprisings are not revolutions, just the most healthy, robust, and anti-authority expression that the marginalised can do. Revolution itself will have to come from a far wider section of the population. It will be social and anti-political, hopefully, mass in scale, but without the defiance and uprisings of the lumpen to kick it off and push the boundaries, it will never happen. Maybe all it boils down to is what Marx and his modern-day disciples from the left still think about the despised lumpen, or the alternative view, which is a mixture of Bakunin and Frantz Fanon. But be assured, the state, its institutions and supporters will never succeed in containing and eliminating the lumpen. Whether that state is from the right, the left, the centre, or any other composition you care to imagine. Worldwide, and here, the lumpen is on the rise, growing numerically. This is the future, and I think that anarchy and anarchism is one of its natural and logical expressions. Goodbye.